without further ado, it is my high honor to invite to the stage Compression Case.
All right, so before we start, I'd just like to thank everyone out there in the crowd who believed and voted for us to be up here right now. And without further ado, I'm Chris.
I'm Enrique.
I'm Sean.
I'm Peyton.
I'm Kyle, and together, we're Compression Case.
Now we've all had that moment, night before your flight, where you're just doing everything you can to fit the most amount of stuff into the least amount of space. You're sitting, standing, or even stomping on your clothes out of frustration, but in the end, you just can't get it to fit. That's why we've created the Compression Case. Using vacuum technology, our products can allow you to fit up to 3 times the amount of clothes from your suitcase to your brand new stylish carry-on. No rolling up or sealing clothes into any kind of separate bag, and with no extra effort applied. You have your clothes on bottom and your hard items on top, paired with extra compartments for easy accessibility at all times. So just flick the switch and watch it click for the hands-free experience of a traveler's lifetime.
By allowing our customers to fit all the clothes they need into one carry-on bag, it enables them to avoid the cost, risk, and hassle of checking a bag. No longer will they get home late at night just wanting to go home and have to go to baggage claim. No longer will they have to pay the hefty $25 to $75 fees to check their bag, and no longer will they put their valuable items into their bag wondering if it's going to make it to their final destination on time and undamaged. From the outside, the Compression Case looks like most hard-shell, stylish carry-ons on the market today. In fact, the top layer is simply a zipper compartment where you can put your laptop, toiletries, shoes, and other hard items. It's the bottom half where the magic happens. This diagram is a cross-section of the bottom half of our suitcase. The compression layer extends in a telescoping fashion up from the bottom half to 2 to 3 times the height of the original bottom half of the suitcase. At that point, you'll load your clothes to the top and attach the plate. Activate the vacuum, and the compression case will compress your clothes down to the original height of the suitcase. As you can see, the vacuum sucks your clothes down through the bottom air distribution layer, ensuring that your clothes compress in a linear fashion, flattened with the plate, not wrinkling from all sides. At this point, the plate will lock into a locking rail located on the edge of the suitcase. This ensures that your clothes are held mechanically, so that even if it doesn't maintain its airtight quality, it will still function properly. So, this is a complicated product, so it's hard to prototype. But we did give it a shot, as some of you saw with a rough prototype in the lobby. And the result.
Now, you might be wondering, why should I just throw a vacuum bag into my current suitcase? Well, for one, vacuum bags are a hassle to pack. First, you have to stuff all of your clothes into multiple different bags. Then, you have to get past the unreliable seals. And after that, you have to battle your newly hardened vacuum bags to make them fit inside of your suitcase. This process alone is enough to deter many customers. Second, vacuum bags will heavily wrinkle your clothes, as this low-quality plastic suctions them from all angles, whereas a compression case only vacuums from one direction, flattening your clothes with its built-in plate. Most importantly, vacuum bags only work for a one-way trip, unless you're willing to bring a clunky vacuum along for your travels.
All right, so earlier this year, we had the opportunity to interview travelers at the Austin airport, and we found that our main target demographic is businessmen and women, and more specifically, those in the age range of around 25 to 45 years old. We found that our carry-on attracts them because they're looking for something easy and efficient to get them in and out of the airport without the hassle of checking their bags. But they were not necessarily looking for something cheap, as many of them had previously spent upwards of $600 on the carry-on. So we're confident that our estimated $400 baseline price will not be too intimidating to the consumer. And not only that, but it can even be paid off in just 6 to 8 trips to the airport by avoiding check-in fees. And then for our marketing, we split our approach into 3 distinct phases. And for phase 1, we plan on giving demonstrations at airports, hotels, and other shows to showcase the functionality to any possible early adopters. And then as for the second phase, we intend to both create and maintain consumer interest online through search engine optimization, online advertising, and of course, the social media presence. And then lastly, for our third and final phase, once we have a steady stream of revenue, we're going to go ahead and direct funds towards more traditional airport advertising, more specifically on taxi cabs, picking up flyers from the airport, whenever the hassle of checking bags is fresh in the mind of our audience. And then, for all 3 phases, we plan on selling through both the official Compression Case website and Amazon.com. And then for the later phases, we are willing to go ahead and branch out into possible retailers to sell the product directly to consumers.
All right, so for our total addressable market, we took the total worldwide suitcase market, which comes out to about $67 billion. For our serviceable addressable market, we took the percent of travelers who traveled for business in 2017. The percent of those people who were between 25 and 45 years old. The percent of those people who prefer a carry-on. The percent of people who don't consider price when they're purchasing their luggage. And then the North American share of the suitcase market. That got us up to about $1.1 billion.
Okay, so for our cost of goods sold for the compression case, it's going to be around $90 to $110. We did some research and we concluded it's going to be 84% for the materials and 60% for labor. Some examples of the materials is going to be the polycarbonate, the zipper, the vacuum, and stuff like that. And for the labor, it's going to be the warehouse expenses and the salaries.
So for year 1, we came to a very modest revenue estimation of $17,600. This is based on a case per month quota, which peaks in the summer and winter months due to higher travel expectancies. We plan on spending most of year 1 figuring out all the kinks of our business. We'll focus on getting lots of feedback and perfecting the compression case in preparation for year 2, which is our big launch year. We're going to put almost all of our year 1 revenue into marketing in order to get lots of exposure, which will then translate into more sales. From there, we believe the compression case will take off, surpassing $1 million in revenue by year 4.
So for our startup, we're asking for $43,000. We are focusing on 5 key aspects. One of them is the patents. We want to have a design and utility patent. We also want to have an initial inventory of 10 cases when we start off. We're also counting into effect the initial manufacturing costs, the pre-release marketing, and also our prototype development.
Although to fully launch, it'll cost us $43,000, we believe that just with $10,000, we can make a killer prototype that we can then put on Kickstarter to raise the rest of the funding. So we believe that there are a lot of companies out there that would want to acquire a compression case, probably after about the 4-year mark once we meet $1 million. One of these companies is Samsonite, who recently acquired Tumi for over $1 billion. This proves that companies in our industry are interested and have the capital to acquire a company like ours. Less hassle,
More freedom.
compression case.
Nice job, guys, particularly since you didn't really know you were presenting tonight. Nice job. So I travel every week, so I know something about carry-on bags, and I like this idea. I think it's a clever idea. But I buy a bag about once every decade. And so I'm just trying to wrap my head around how, if, you know, maybe I'm not your target customer, but I'm just trying to figure out, you know, who your target, you know, really is, and how you get the message to them. And you know, when I bought my last bag, I went to a store that had a bunch of bags. Now I'd probably go to Amazon now, but. So address my first question first, if you would.
Well, we're specifically trying to target our product towards more younger, rising businessmen, businesswomen, and of course, frequent flyers. With online shopping becoming so popular, we believe that we can get the word out easily for starting a Kickstarter, like we had said from before. And also, as well, we believe that our target audience isn't too price sensitive, and even though they might be buying a new carry-on maybe, say, like once every 5 years, 6, 7 maybe. Our product is going to cost around a total of $400 to $500, and we are going to be taking home a lot of that revenue. And so we believe that it's more of a purchase for the kind of the higher end of the market. More specified for the top end, that is. Yeah.
Okay, I think you ought to hurry up and get. Modest. You know, I can understand the first year. That's very practical, but I think after year 2, well, it was 3, you were at 1.3 million or something. Tell me a little bit more how you came to those numbers.
So we basically used standard industry growth after our first year with our launch, and then also combined it with the growth rates of hot new products to get the first couple numbers. And then we generally rounded everything down, try to be super modest, because if the business is appealing from a financial perspective up to $1 million by that year, and that's the modest number, then we believe that that's even better, because then we can only go up from there.
Well, you mentioned that you're going to be plowing a lot of the revenue back into marketing, but how are you going to continue to have the passion for this if you can't pay yourself and the salaries wrapped around that? I mean, have you given that some thought about the total amount of money you actually need to make this go?
Well, we're not going to be really supporting ourselves too much until after college, so we're not going to be relying on that income very much. And and in addition, right now we work a lot just with school, 8 hours a day plus whatever, 3 hours of homework at least. And so that's without pay, and this is something we're passionate about. So we believe that we can maintain that same work ethic towards something we're passionate about that we know will eventually pay off, as we do for something that some of us might not be as passionate about.
Okay.
So hey, great job, guys. Really coming in late like this. This is you guys did great. This seems to be predicated on the idea that you can get a patent for it or a series of patents. Have you done any work with respect to, evaluating what the IP field looks like?
Yes, we did do research through, just in-depth Google searches, as well as with our mentor. And at that point, we found that there are some ideas that kind of thought about putting together a vacuum and a suitcase. However, none of their actual qualifying clauses had to do with the things that we're actually implementing in the suitcase. But we definitely need to get on the patent as soon as possible. We're going to start working on that this summer.
And securing a utility patent is high priority for us. Once we get that stable stream of revenue going, it might cost around $5,000 to $10,000, but that is a very high priority for us once we get to that step.
So this is a great idea. To Jan's point, if you can find a way to shrink down all of the toiletries and beauty products that us ladies travel with, you'd be instant billionaires, I'll tell you. It's great. I forget if you addressed how you're planning on getting this out to the market. Is it online-only sales, or is it through retail stores? And can you speak to that a little bit?
It will start online only, but once we do start doing more traditional advertising, like I said, in and around the airport, maybe do some banner ads, some advertising in flight or on magazines, then we do plan to branch out into actual retailers if we're given the opportunity. But starting out, we're going to start online only, and that's going to be our early adopter base that we're getting from Kickstarter mostly.
So I travel a reasonable amount. I'm willing to spend quite a lot of money for a suitcase if it serves my needs. And so this concept is great. I like to carry a carry-on. I've lost too many bags along the way, and so this is something that definitely speaks to me. But what I would say is I'm willing to spend those dollars because I know it's a great bag. So I'm a big fan of Tumi as an example. Mm-hmm. I know they last, they're stylish, they're great. This particular concept, while awesome, I would be concerned about the longevity of the vacuum, the seals, and all of those different types of things. So how is it you guys are thinking about the quality of your product, the design, and what have you, so that you can ensure that it's something that lasts? Because if I am going to spend $400, and I'm willing to spend more, by the way, but if I am going to spend that much, I want to know it's going to last at least for a couple of years, because I buy suitcases more frequently than every 10, and so I want to know that it's going to last for at least a couple of years.
Considering that the carry-on is going to have to be airtight with that bottom layer, security is of an utmost factor for us in that we are going to use high-end materials. The carry-on is not going to be cheap itself as we measure the cost of goods, and we're willing to even increase that to further secure that the carry-on will be very safe to use and it will, of course, have a high longevity.
The good thing is that all the materials that Tumi and Rimowa or those high-quality brands use are known, and we'll be trying to use those same sorts of materials in our product and give it a similar look so that people know that it's a high-quality product. In addition, during our product development, we're going to test it to make sure that we can guarantee a warranty up to a certain number of years that will make our buyers feel that it is a high-quality product.
Any other questions? All right. Compression case. Great job, guys. On the fly.